Hey guys, Nishquick here. So another kind of off-the-cuff video I kind of wanted to make, and this is something that's been on my mind recently, especially concerning the recent release of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So, it's gonna be a little bit of a story time, but also my opinion on what's going on right now. So, this video isn't gonna be as, let's say, positive or as exciting and happy as my other videos. It's more of a critique about the video game industry and just game development in general. So let's talk about Pokemon, the series, and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet in general. So yeah, let's go. And before we get started, just wanted to say, if this is your first time on the channel, I'm Nishquick, and if you enjoy videos on video game analysis, reviews, and just casual discussions like this, make sure to subscribe to my channel, Nishquick Pops, hit that like button because it helps the channel a lot, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss another video. Without further ado, let's talk about the Pokemon Company, Game Freak, and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and my experience with Pokemon in general. So let's go back to the year 2010. Alright, so 2010, I was fresh off the heels of Generation 4, Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. I played Diamond and Platinum, loved them both. I spent upwards of 200 hours in those games. So much time was spent in my elementary school years playing through Diamond and Platinum. I just loved it. I loved it so much. Played with friends, played online, almost completed the Pokedex in those games. It was so much fun. Then, around 2010, around that time, I think Pokemon Black and White was announced. I took one look at those games and I was like, this looks silly. I was a kid, I didn't know any better. I was like, Black and White, that's so dumb. I wanted Pokemon Topaz and Opal. And I was like, the legendaries look dumb, the Pokemon look dumb, this game looks dumb. I just left it at that, didn't buy them. Maybe a year and a half passes, I'm in middle school, and I make some of my friends, I realize that they also play Pokemon. And they're hyping up this Generation 5. And I'd only heard bad things. I've heard Pokemon suck, the games suck, I heard crap from what we used to call the Gen 1ers back then. And I was like, hey, maybe I'll give it a shot. So this was my golden age of Pokemon. I remember after I finished all my homework, I would log on to Cerebi.com on my iPod Touch. This is ancient. iPod Touch. I would go on Safari on my iPod Touch, go to Cerebi, scour through the Unova Pokedex, and just look at all these Pokemon and be like, this is so cool. Zebstrika, Conkeldurr, Excadrill, Hydreigon, Haxorus, Amoonguss, Jellicent, all these Pokemon. I studied this Unova Pokedex because I had missed out on all these cool Pokemon, all these cool concepts, and then I just delved more into the Unova region before even playing the game, before even buying a copy. And I was like, this is so much more in-depth, so much more lively, realized, so full of character, so full of life, this Unova region. Driftveil City, Nimbasa City, that casino place. I remember that same year, my family and I took a trip to New York City, and as I was walking through Times Square, I was like, oh, I'm in Castelia City, like, this is what it was based off of, it's so cool. It was so awesome and so cool. It felt so fresh as a Pokemon experience. And that was also the first time I got into competitive Pokemon battling. I made a Sandstorm team, I made a Sun team, I made a Rain team. So I have a lot of fond memories of Generation 5 when it comes to Pokemon. I also have fond memories of Generation 3 and 4, but 5 is the best. But now I want to talk about what came after that. So, I remember in 2012, it was freshman year of high school. I was walking to lunch, and one of my friends bolts over to me. He's like, there's a new Pokemon generation announced. And I was like, what? That's crazy. I just finished playing Pokemon White. Like, what is this nonsense? It's not real. And then, like, I didn't even have a smartphone then. He pulls out his old, like, HTC phone and he shows me on Cerebi, Pokemon X and Y. I was blown away. The minute I get back home from school, I look at that trailer and I'm blown away. 3D graphics. The starters look cool. I was just amazed. The fact that a Pokemon game was coming to the 3DS. One of my favorite systems back then. The hype cycle was amazing. It was so much fun getting to know all these Pokemon. What is Nymphia's type? The new evolution. Back when we only knew Sylveon as Nymphia. Like, so many cool memories. But when I did play Pokemon X for the first time, I enjoyed it, but I could tell, even as a 14-year-old, 15-year-old back then, I could tell that something just wasn't right. More so, not that something wasn't right, but it just didn't feel like Gen 5. It didn't feel like all the effort was put into it, and even myself, I was so surprised to hear that Generation 6 was coming out so soon. Just like 2 or 3 years after Generation 5. And then soon after that, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire came out. And I kind of realized what this lacking in quality and that spark was a little later on in life. I realized that these games were just churning out very quickly. They had yearly releases, they're being rushed, the creativity was there, the designs are great. I just realized that the level of detail that was put into Leaf Green Fire Red, Ruby Sapphire Emerald, Diamond Pearl Platinum, Black and White 2, all that just didn't feel there. The older I got, I realized the kind of setbacks in terms of content. And when it came to Sword and Shield, I was personally excited for Sword and Shield because it was the first Pokemon, like, mainline generation on a home console. I didn't care about the lack of Pokemon in the Pokedex. I actually sort of understood that. But when I picked up Sword and Shield, and I started playing Sword and Shield, that spark was just gone. And I was very sad. That's a very strange way to put it. I was very sad. Because to me, it felt like the same Pokemon game. I then realized, why isn't this franchise evolving? Why isn't it taking a big step forward? Why is it the same formulaic stuff over and over again with no substantial quality of life improvements, with older mechanics, nothing like a step up for Pokemon? Sword and Shield is disappointing. I quit after 10 hours. I couldn't get into it. And I remember a friend came over and he was taking a look at me playing and he said, "This looks like the DS Pokemon games, but on the Switch." And that's when I realized, I was like, I really hope this franchise changes. And fast forward to this year. We got Legends Arceus. Legends Arceus was good. I'm gonna talk about that in another video, maybe sometime later. But I will tell you the shock I had when I realized that Generation 9 was actually coming in 2022. I was nervous. I was nervous for the Pokemon Company. I was nervous for Game Freak. I was nervous for all the Pokemon fans. My tension, my nerves were kind of eased when I saw a lot of what was going on in this game. True open world, branching storylines, really cool Pokemon designs, awesome legendaries, the whole concept of past and future, genius. And fast forward to November 2022. These games have released in such a state that people are documenting very absurd, very baffling, truly shocking performance issues with this game. Character models are suddenly turning gigantic. The frame rate does not consistently hit 30 FPS. Lots of glitches, you fall through the floor, vice versa, left and right, all of that stuff. But you might ask, Nishquick, you're the kind of person who doesn't really care about frame rate in games. Yes, I don't care if a game is 60 FPS. but I do care if it's a stable 30 FPS. In this modern day and age, you kind of understand when a game dips from its stable 30 FPS. I personally do. Maybe not some other people. And occasional frame dips are okay. They're forgivable. It happens in Breath of the Wild. No big deal, honestly. It's not that bad. It happens in Xenoblade games as well. But not frequently. 95% of the time, or 90% of the time, the game is a stable 30 FPS. What I've seen with Scarlet and Violet is... it's shocking, honestly. And, you might say, did you buy the game? Did you play the game? I did not buy the game. I played the game, though. One of my friends was kind enough to allow me to play his copy of the game. He brought it over to my place and we played it for a bit. The game itself is fun. Riding on Koraidon is fun. Battling and catching is fun. The whole concept of the branching storylines, it's genius, it's good. But this game is riddled with some very bad performance issues, and it's sad. Because you see, like, I don't know if you've seen the pattern in this. I wish for Pokemon to take a step forward. I wish for them to take risks and evolve the franchise with new mechanics, new gameplay, new innovative ideas. And they did with Scarlet and Violet, they did. And I'm very happy they did. They did with Legends Arceus too. But they were compromised by the strict, stringent schedule of yearly releases, a generation every 3 years, and it's sad. It's sad that the biggest media franchise in the entire world is experiencing this issue. I don't know if it's burnout, I don't know if it's poor scheduling, I don't know what it is. And I really hope it changes. I really, really hope that Game Freak takes a step back and says we're gonna take a break. We're gonna figure out this franchise, what we need to do to truly make a good HD next generation Pokemon experience. I hope they take a step back and really kind of figure that out. Again, I say I'm not a stickler for playing games at 60 FPS or 120 FPS. Like, another example, I'm looking at my shelf right now. Shin Megami Tensei 5, 30 FPS. Consistent 30 FPS. There are some frame drops here and there. It doesn't happen all the time. In SMT5, my Nahobino doesn't fall through the floor. My demons don't just phase out of existence. I'm using SMT5 because it is a turn-based RPG on the Nintendo Switch. Dragon Quest XI as well. Very great port. I really hope that things change. It's always, for me, I have seen Game Freak and Pokemon. It is one step forward and a few steps back. This time it was a giant step forward, but many, I wouldn't say steps back, but a giant step forward with a lot of compromises. I really, really hope the future of Pokemon is not like this. I hope we get good quality games with good quality performance running on a simple Nintendo Switch. I've been rambling for quite a bit now, but I want to end with one small thing. People have been blaming the Switch hardware for this whole debacle with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. To you guys who think that, I ask you, Breath of the Wild, Xenoblade Definitive Edition, Xenoblade 2, Xenoblade 2 Torna, Xenoblade 3, SMT5, Dragon Quest XI, Monster Hunter Rise, all these games, 30 FPS on the Switch. And not just 30, smooth 30. Not just good, consistent performance, no bugs, good quality graphics, the environments look good, the environments are well designed. If Game Freak needs help, they can get help. It doesn't seem like they are choosing to seek help. And I feel like if us as Nintendo fans and Pokemon fans speak up about this enough, hopefully things will change. Because seeing a game like this sell 10 million copies in just 3 days it's a weird thing for me to see. That doesn't send a good message to Nintendo or Game Freak. That sends them a message that this is okay. it's okay to just kind of put out these games like this. Because it'll make money. It's Pokemon, the highest selling media franchise, highest grossing media franchise. Like, I just played God of War Ragnarok on my PS5. That's a whole nother story. But like, you have so many games on the Switch that run at a smooth 30 FPS. And I'm sure Tears of the Kingdom will run just fine when it releases in May. But that's just my rambling thoughts, my 2 cents about the state of Pokemon. Yeah, I just had to kind of vent that out, just kind of a little rant. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about the state of Pokemon? Are you enjoying Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? Are you not enjoying Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? All these questions I want to ask you guys. Let me know in the comments down below. Let's talk, let's discuss about Pokemon. And let's be kind, let's be respectful, let's voice our opinions, but this is a tough and a touchy subject, so let's all be respectful if we have a discussion down below. So yeah, that's a little bit about my thoughts on this. If you enjoyed this, please give it a like or a dislike, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. This is Nishquick, signing off. Have a great day.